What's up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the Black Series, the Bad Batch Hunter figure, and this is from Season 2 and part of Season 3 of the Bad Batch animated TV show. So if you guys want to watch this in-depth review of this figure, we're going to go ahead and look at the articulation, the accuracy of the figure, the art of the box, and the overall accessories does this figure come with. So now that we're looking at the artwork of the box, overall, when it comes to 1 out of 10, I think the box is a decent 7 out of 10. But overall, it just really doesn't do it for me. I do prefer the open box. But let's go ahead and open this box. So when you remove the figure out the box, this is what you get. And the figure is wrapped in some paper wrapping as well as the accessories. So we're going to go ahead and look at the accessories first before we get into the main figure. So here we have Hunter's helmet, which is it's a nice color palette. That orange and gray does look pretty good. And I will do a review of the Season 1 Hunter alongside the Season 3. But we're going to go ahead and do that video later. You guys can see that at the bottom, how it looks. And next we have the other accessories the Hunter comes with. We'll go ahead and tear that apart. And then inside this little cardboard piece, he does have his little knife. So here's a closer look at the knife right there. You guys can see that. Pretty well detailed. You guys can see that. Man, this thing is really nice. And then next we do have this book bag that attaches on the back. Pretty cool in my opinion. And then we do have 2 blasters, which is a must for Hunter because he does show these blasters throughout the show. So obviously you got to have that there. So now that we're done with the accessories, we're going to go ahead and bring the figure out. So this is Hunter right here. So we'll go ahead and I'll wrap him. I'm not going to lie, the figure looks a lot better in person than it does in the animated form on the box. The face looks a lot more realistic, looks a lot better in my opinion. Now, the plastic honestly seems pretty cheap for some reason. I'm not sure. I'm not really liking that too much. It does feel pretty cheap. But the color palette, it looks pretty decent. It does remind me of what it looks like in the show in Season 2. So before we go into the accuracy, we're going to go ahead and look at the articulation to see, whether this figure is even worth it. He does have single jointed elbows, which kind of sucks, but I guess he's restricted because of the armor. He has single jointed knees, and his legs won't go forward because of the armor is really restricted. Barely can go like that, which kind of does suck. This is as high as the arms could go, which I'm not sure if I even like that because it is restricted from this little piece right here from this armor. As far as toe articulation, this thing looks kind of wonky. Like, just looking at it, as you guys can see, like, it just looks weird. It looks pretty off in my opinion. I'm not really too sure. I'm really liking this new design, or at least this figure. And you guys can see that his knee does swivel, but it just looks really awkward for some reason. I'm not really sure why, but this figure doesn't really look as good as I thought it would be. But we're going to go ahead and put the helmet on and all the accessories so you guys have an idea what that looks like. All right, so now that we got the accessories all in place, you got the weapons that go right here in the holster. His knife goes right here, but his arm just looks really weird. I don't know why it just looks really weird like that. Anyways, the helmet goes pretty good. You have to make sure that you don't put it too hard so you don't scratch the paint on the actual head sculpt. And then the backpack is just placed in with a little peg. Overall, when it comes to articulation, I think we'll give this figure a decent 6 out of 10. Only because the articulation is pretty bad in my opinion. But when it comes to accessories, I'm going to give this figure probably a 7 out of 10. But when it comes with the overall design of the box, the overall figure, I think I'll give this figure like a decent 6 out of 10. Overall, it is a good figure, but just these flaws aren't really something that I like. The articulation is pretty bad. The figure feels pretty cheap, and it just doesn't really look that great to me in all honesty. So I have an upcoming review of the Season 1 Hunter where we're going to compare this version with that one, and then we can decide exactly which is a better Hunter, and I'll see you guys in the next video.